Good morning. I am Jaypriya from CSE department. In software engineering, I am going to explain Unified Modeling Language. UML diagrams. History of UML. The first public draft version 0.8, October 1995. Feedback from public and Ivor Jacobson. Input included. Version 0.9, July 1996. Version 0.91, October 1996. Version 1.0, 1.1 was presented to OMG Group of Standardization in July-September 1997. November 1997, UML adopted as the standard modeling language by OMG. History of UML. Version 1.2 was introduced in June 1998. Version 1.3 was introduced in December 1998. Version 1.4 2000. Version 2.0 2003. Overview of the UML. The UML is a language for visualizing, specifying, and constructing. Visualizing means we can easily able to see it. That means visualizing. Specifying, by using this, we can build the models. Next, unambiguous. Next one, complete. So we have to do all these things in the specifying. The last one is constructing. That means UML models can be directly connected to a variety of programming languages. So if we are using what kind of language, we can use this UML model. If we can use another language, we can use this kind of model. So this is basically in software development lifecycle also we can apply this. So software development lifecycle, how many types of software development lifecycle? There are basically 5 different types we have seen. So next we will see about UML diagrams. UML diagram, static structural diagram. In the static diagram, we are going to explain class diagram, object diagram, implementation diagram. In the implementation diagram, component diagram and deployment diagrams are there. So in the dynamic behavior diagram, we are going to see use case diagram, interaction diagram, state chart diagram, activity diagram. Sequence diagram and collaboration diagram comes under interaction diagram. So these all diagrams, so we will see it in the software development lifecycle. The software development lifecycle, it is a process used by the software industry to design, develop and test the high quality. So the main aim is to produce the high quality software. There are basically 5 steps we will see in the software development lifecycle. So this software development lifecycle will also be applying in the class diagram, object diagram, implementation diagram, next dynamic behavior diagrams. For these diagrams, the software development lifecycle is the basic for all these diagrams. So in the software development lifecycle, we will see first step is planning. In the first step, we will plan what is the problem has happened before. Once we have to analyze the problem, so next we will find the solution of the problem. So the first step is planning. We have to find the proper way of planning to get the solution for the particular problem. The next one is analysis. So how the problem has happened. So in which way we will give the output. These analysis we have to be going to do in the analysis phase. The next one, that means the middle phase is the design phase. In the design phase, what we have done in the planning and what we have done in the analysis, all these things come together and comes in the design phase. The design phase only, we will write the coding and we have to apply the coding in our language, computer language. The next one is the implementation. In the implementation, we will give training to the users. So implementation is the next step of the analysis, design, and implementation. The last one is the maintenance. Maintenance means how we can keep our system healthy. That is the maintenance. So the main aim of the SDLC process is software project within a software organization to improve the quality of the software. Next, software development lifecycle also it defines the methodology of improving the quality of the software and improve the overall performance. So by improving this, we can improve our class diagram representation also. So we will explain class diagram. Class diagram specifies the types of objects in the system and the various kinds of static relationships that exist among them. That means if we all know if it is graphical representation means we can easily understand. If it is theory means it is for us it is very little hard. Once it is graphical representation, we can easily store it in our mind. Same thing like that. The class diagram, a graphical representation of the static view on declarative static elements. The main thing is a central modeling technique that runs through nearly all object-oriented methods. The richest notation is, that means that richest notation in UML that has been given below. Class, attributes, operations, relationships. In the relationships, how many relationships are there? So there are 4 different types of relationships are there. That is associations, generalization, dependency, realization. The next one is constraint, rules, and nodes. Class is the description of the set of objects having similar attributes, operations, relationships, and behavior. So in the class is the diagrammatic representation. Flowchart is a diagrammatic representation, easy to understand. Pseudocode is a step-by-step procedure. It is a kind of simple English. So we always starts with the start and ends with the stop. Same like that, here also it will be happening. Class is the diagrammatic representation, so we can easily able to understand. Class is the description of the set of objects having similar attributes, operations, relationships, and behavior. Relationships, let's see how many types of relationships. Generalization, association, and aggregation. Generalization means is a kind of relationship. Association, users, aggregation, part of. Association, a semantic relationship between 2 or more classes that specifies connections among their instances. For example, think about near our area, there is one association. Association means group of people come together and they will share their points, and so we have to improve the nearby streets. We have to improve the things like that. So what are the needs needed for the people living around that area? So they will discuss like that. So here also same like that. Association means working together. A semantic relationship between 2 or more classes that specifies connection among their instances. A structural relationships specifying that object of one class are connected to the objects of the second class. That means an employee works for a company. For example, an employee, if a new employee is appointed in the company, so what are the basic things the employee collect the information about the employee? Employee name, where he or she works before that. Then what is the qualification of the employee? Phone number, mail ID. These are the details collected by the company. So an employee works for the company. This is the relationships. So an association between two classes indicate that object at one end of an association recognize objects at the other end and may send messages to them. This properly will help us discover less trivial association using interaction diagrams. So multiplicity indicators. Exactly 1. If it is exactly 1 means simply we will represent 1. 0 or more. That means more means unlimited. Here it comes unlimited. 0 or more. So more always we have to represent by using asterisk. Next, 1 or more. 1 means 1 we will represent it as 1. Then more means we have to represent it as asterisk. If they have given the number, we have to mention it with the number. If they didn't give the number, simply they are given more like that means we have to mention it with the asterisk. Then 0 or 1. That means optional association only. 0 or 1. They have given the number clearly here. 0, the another one is 1. So there is no need of asterisk. Next, specified range. Specified range means 2, 4, 2, 10. That means the range has to be specified clearly. That is the specified range. Next, multiple disjoint ranges. That means more ranges are there. Multiple disjoint ranges. Aggregation. Aggregation is a special form of association. Association, what we have studied. So, group of people, that means association, the common name is group of people working together for the benefits of their people. So, in the association also we have seen group of classes. That means more classes are there. So, aggregation is a special form of association that models a whole part relationship between an aggregate and its parts. Simply, if you want to say means the whole and its part, that is the aggregation. Model is a part of relationship. An aggregation test is the phrase part of used to describe the relationships. A door is a part of the car. So we can ask the question for ourselves. A door is the part of the car. We all know about it. Door is the part of the car. Next, but if shall we say like this, a car is a part of the car door? No, it's wrong, right? So we have to use a door is the part of the car. We have to ask some more question. Are some operations on the whole or automatically applied to its parts? That means if you are moving the car, we want to move the door separately, or it will be automatic, whole parts will automatically apply to its parts. The whole automatically apply to its parts, right? If you want to move the car, we have to move the car itself. No need to move the door again because both are in this car only. So car is totally a whole part and door is the separate whole. That means part of the car. Here, aggregation means a special form of association. That means special form of association. We all know the meaning. So grouping together. That means special form of grouping together. So car means it consists of so many parts. Door, next brake. So these are the so many parts are there in the car. So car is the aggregation, door is the association. So all the parts, door, then brake, so gear, all the parts are joining together, finally form the car. So that is the first question. Is the phrase part of used to describe the relationship? So we have simply say a door is part of a car. Next question. Are some operations on the whole automatically applied to its parts? Move the car, move the door. If you're moving the car, the door has also been moving. So we have to ask the question, are some operations in the whole automatically applied to its parts? Move the car, move the door. Are some attribute values propagated from the whole to its parts? That means what is the meaning of this? The car is blue, therefore the door is blue. The car is white, therefore the door is white. The car is brown, therefore the door is brown. So we won't mismatch it, right? So we have to, what the car color is, the door color will be like that. So if you want to paint a door color, so obviously the car color will be also same like that. The next question, is there an intrinsic asymmetry to the relationship where subordinate to the other? That means a door is a part of the car. A car is not a part of the door. A brake system is the part of the car, but a car is not the part of the brake system. So what the whole thing is the car. The whole part is the car. The door is the part of it. So aggregation means a special form of association that models the whole part relationship between an aggregate and its parts. Model is a part of relationship. We have seen one example. Car is the whole and their door is the part. So here we have asked some questions. That means aggregation test. Is the phrase part of used to describe the relationship? A door is part of the car. Next, another question, are some operations on the whole automatically applied to its parts? Move the car, move the door. Or some attribute values propagated from the whole to its parts. That means the car is blue, therefore the door is blue. Is there an intrinsic asymmetry to the relationship where subordinate to the other? A door is part of the car, a car is not a part of the door. Next, we have seen association, aggregation. Next, composition. Composition is strong form of aggregation. The whole is the sole owner of its parts. The part object may belong to only one whole. That means multiplicity on the whole side must be 0 or 1. So if it is 0 or 1 means how we can mention 1. So it should be multiplicity means many. So 1 asterisk or 0 asterisk. Multiplicity on the whole side must be 0 or 1. The lifetime of the part is dependent upon the whole. So the lifetime is dependent upon the whole. Multiplicity means many. So the composite must manage the creation and destruction of its parts. Composition is often used in place of generalization, that means inheritance to a transmitting, adding, copying, and deleting of objects. So composition is little bit different from aggregation. Here it is a strong form of aggregation. The whole is the sole owner of its part. The part object may belong to only one whole, that means multiplicity on the whole side must be 0 or 1. The lifetime of the part is dependent upon the whole. Next. Generalization. We have seen aggregation, composition, next generalization. It indicates the object of the specialized class, that means subclass or substitutable for objects of the generalized class, superclass. So here the inheritance concepts have been introduced. That means inheritance. What is inheritance? Deriving the properties of the superclass, deriving the properties. That means the base class and the derived class. The derived class derive the properties of the base class. That is the inheritance. So how many inheritance are there? Single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and a hybrid inheritance. So single inheritance, multiple, multi-level, and a hybrid inheritance. 4 main types of hybrid inheritance are there. Inheritance means it derives the properties from the parent class to the child class. Parent class is otherwise known as superclass, and the child class is otherwise known as subclass or base class or derived class. So deriving the properties. If you, for example, think about our real-time example, child and parents are there. So the child get the character of their parents. So it is obviously true, the child get the parents of their character of their parents. So here also it indicates that an object of the specialized class, that means subclass, are substitutable for objects of the generalized class. Here they will say on relationship is kind of relationship. Is kind of relationship. A subclass inherits from the superclass. Subclass is otherwise called as derived class, child class. Superclass is otherwise known as parent class, base class. From the base class only the child class derives its properties. So we all know somebody will tell, oh, you are like your mother, you are like your father, like that. So same like that, subclass derives the properties of the superclass. Here we attributes, operations, relationship, and three things should be comes under superclass. Next, a subclass may add attributes and operations, add relationships, refine inherited operations. Refine inherited operations. A generalization relationship may not be used to model interface. The norm, it is not used to model interface. So normally generalization that objects of the specialized class are substitutable for objects of the generalized class. It is a kind of relationship. A subclass inherits from its superclass. That means it contains attributes, operations, and relationships. A subclass may add attributes and operations, add relationships, refine inherited operations, and the last one, a generalization relationship may not be used to model interface. Next, it is an important, interesting topic, UML package. UML package, a package is a general purpose grouping mechanism. Normally in the normal life also, take one packet of water, take one packet of curd. Packet, what is the general meaning of packet? Packet means grouping. Grouping something and it comes under single thing. That is packet. Okay, commonly used to group any UML element. That means use case, actors, classes, components, and other packages. Commonly used for specifying the logical distribution of classes. A package does not necessarily translate into the physical subsystem. Next, analysis classes. So UML packages means group of things comes under a particular package. It is commonly used for specifying the logical distribution of classes. Next, analysis class, a technique for finding analysis classes which uses three different methodologies. That means the boundary between the system and its actors, the information the system uses, the control logical of the system. So here we will see boundary classes and entity classes. Models the interaction between the system surroundings and the inner surroundings is said to be boundary classes. Here, user interface classes concentrate on what information is presented, and it also boundary classes models the interaction between the system surroundings and its inners. User interface classes concentrate on what information is presented to the user. Don't concentrate on user interface details. Example, we will say report details form, confirmation dialog. So another one, system device interface classes. Concentrate on what protocols must be defined. Don't concentrate on how the protocols are implemented. Next, entity classes. Models the key concepts of the system, usually models information that is persistent, contains the logic that solves the system problem, can be used in multiple behaviors. So multiple behaviors, so we will enlarge in different ways. we have to show our expressions in different ways. Example, violation, report offender. If we are doing, if we want to follow a rule means we have to follow the rules. So there should be violation means that we call it as violation, report offender. Next, control classes. It controls and coordinates the behavior of the system, delegates the work to the other classes. So a control class should tell other classes to do something and should never do anything except for directing control classes, decouple boundary and entity classes. For example, if you want to say one real-time example means, so in every classes there should be a CR. The CR, whatever we want to pass it to the classes, we will discuss with the CR and we will ask him to send the message to your class. So he has some kind of control over the classes. That is the real-time example. So here also example, edit report controller, add violation controller. It's a kind of control. So when we are thinking about the computer, so memory unit, control unit is also there. What the control unit will do? It controls the system. That means which process has to be carried out at which time. So it controls the system. That all will be happening in the controlling. Memory, what memory will do? It will store the data. Control system only help us what information has to pass from where to where. So all the controlling will be happening under the control unit. Here also same like that. Next, use case diagram. Use case diagram is a diagram that shows a set of use cases and actors and their relationship. Use case concept was introduced by Ivar Jacobson in object-oriented software engineering method. So it was introduced by Ivar Jacobson. So this use case diagram is the heart of the Jacobson diagram. Use case diagram is the heart of the Jacobson diagram. In the Jacobson diagram, they have followed the previous concept, that means software development life cycle. In the software development life cycle, we have seen same 5 phases. First one, planning, analysis, designing, implementation, testing. So in the planning, we have to plan what the problems has occurred and what is the existing solution for the problem. So what the problem has already happened. So what was the solution they have taken for that? We have to do the planning like that. Analysis. What was the real-time solution of the problem? From that solution, we will get some more new kind of solution and we have to solve the problem. How to solve it? So we have to analysis with the previous thing. So we have to analysis with the previous things happened and get the solution of the previous one. Next, the next one is designing. We have planned, we have analyzed. Next, designing, how to design a coding. We have to design it as we will draw the flow chart, we will write the pseudocode, and we have to use our coding to design it. So the middle one is the designing phases. The next one, implementation. How to implement it? That means simply we have to say we will give training to the users. So these are all the process we will do in the implementation. The final one is testing and maintenance. So how to keep our system healthy? That all comes under system and maintenance. So in the use case diagram, it is the heart of the Jacobson diagram. In the Jacobson diagram, they have explained the software development life cycle. So we have studied use case diagram, software development life cycle in the UML. Next, boundary classes and the entity classes, UML packages, generalization, composition, aggregation, association. So association is a semantic relationship between two or more classes. Here we have studied multiplicity indicators. That means exactly 1 or 0 or more, 1 or more, 0 or 1, specified range, multiple disjoint ranges. Aggregation is a special form of association that models a whole-part relationship between aggregation and its parts. Composition is a strong form of aggregation. Generalization, it indicates that objects of the specialized class are substitutable for objects of the generalized class. Here we have explained about our inheritance concept, that means superclass and the subclass. UML package. A package is a general purpose grouping mechanism. Packages means grouping mechanism. Boundary classes. Here we have discussed boundary classes and entity classes. In the boundary classes, user interface classes, system device interface classes. User interface classes concentrate on what information is presented to the user. System entity classes don't concentrate on how the protocols are implemented. Control classes, it controls and coordinates the behavior of the system. Use case diagram, it is a diagram shows the use case and actors and their relationship. Thank you.